Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. The chairman of the parliamentary subcommittee investigating the Smolensk Catastrophe, Antoni Macierewicz, claims that according to the report, the cause of the crash was at least two explosions. The first in the left wing and the second in the centre wing, which took place a few seconds later, completely destroyed the plane and killed all the passengers and crew. The former Minister of National Defence emphasised that an important element of the Smolensk Subcommittee's report is the presentation of a number of decisions that were taken before the catastrophe, both on the Russian and Polish sides. It got to the point that President Medvedev issued a separate decision stating that only one company, the company Aviacorps, belonging to a friend of Mr. Putin's, could carry out the repairs. Antoni Macierewicz pointed to two explosions that are to be the direct cause of the catastrophe. The first one took place on the left wing, 100 metres before the alleged birch tree. The second resulted in the destruction of the plane and the death of all passengers and crew. The explosion in the wing made a noise on the tapes. The Commission managed to denoise or clean it. The same explosive was found on board the second aircraft, which was also renovated in Russia in 2009. In the same wing, the left, in which the explosion destroyed 154 number 101, here with the President of the Republic of Poland on board and the entire Polish elite, in the same wing of aircraft number 102, we found the same explosive that was found on the fragments, on the remains of aircraft 101. The editor-in-chief of Gazeta Polska, Tomasz Sakiewicz, points out that it is no longer possible to argue with the findings of the Commission. The accuracy of these studies precludes a rational man from concluding anything other than the President was murdered, together with everyone who accompanied him. The Smolensk families can now read the report prepared by the Commission. When I was at the meeting of the Smolensk subcommittees, everything was shown, and here it is rather the question of when the Polish secret services will decide what can and what cannot be disclosed. On the 10th of August this year, the report was voted and approved by the Parliamentary Committee. The report contains over 300 pages and several thousand pages of attachments. Yesterday, the bodies of 3 people were found in 3 different places on the border with Belarus. The indications are that they are illegal immigrants, but at this stage of the investigations, the border guards cannot provide more information. The prosecutor's office is also carrying out investigations. One of the victims was found in the village of Dworczysko in a distressed state, and 2 in the Knishin primeval forest. The cause of death was hypothermia and exhaustion. It is not known exactly who the people who died on the territory of the Republic of Poland were, but we will certainly do everything so that they are not anonymous people. We want everyone to be treated in the most dignified manner, and those who survived will be saved. In Polish hospitals in Suwałki, Augustów and other places. According to the Minister of Internal Affairs and Administration, subsequent decisions of the Belarusian authorities indicate that the situation on the Polish-Belarusian border may worsen. Therefore, he decided to send an additional 500 soldiers there. The structures of the Belarusian state are responsible for, inter alia, the security of international borders, are involved in the practice of international trafficking of human beings. This must clearly be stated. Across our eastern border, a Polish border guard patrol noticed a group of immigrants yesterday. There was a woman's body next to it. Belarusian officers were immediately notified of the incident, but reacted only after a few hours. Belarus accuses the Polish border guard of moving the body of the deceased migrant outside Poland. The Belarusian side and the Lukashenko regime is so ruthless that such events may occur even more often, especially since there is now a bit of a cool-down period. Yesterday, the border guard, together with the army, police and fire brigades, carried out a rescue operation in the swamps of the Suprasul River backwaters. 8 illegal immigrants became stuck there. 7 of them were taken to hospital. A helicopter from the Polish Medical Air Rescue took part in the action. These persons were seriously exhausted by their journey. In addition, there were very low temperatures. These persons did not have the energy to get themselves out of there. A state of emergency has been enforced since the 2nd of September in 183 localities in the border zone with Belarus. It was introduced for a period of 30 days, but may be extended. When the corpses appear, the jokes end. It is high time for Poland to take certain action, not only as belonging to the European Union, but also as a NATO member. During the last 24 hours, the border guard prevented 276 attempts to cross the border with Belarus illegally. Since the beginning of September alone, officers have recorded more than 4,000 such cases.
2, 1.
The European Court of Justice ruled today that Poland must pay the European Commission €500,000 a day because of its refusal to stop the mining of lignite in the Turów mine near the Czech border. The Czech Republic had demanded a fine of €5 million a day. Interim measures order. Poland ordered to pay the EU Commission a daily €500,000 fine due to its failing to end the lignite mining activities at Turów coal mine near the Czech border. In February this year, the Czech government submitted a complaint to the ECJ related to the continued operation of the open-cast mine, which functions to meet the needs of the Turów power plant owned by PGE. The Czechs argued that the mine expansion threatened, among other things, access to water in the Liberec region. In May, the court, as a precautionary measure, ordered the immediate halt of mining operations at the mine pending a judgment. In turn, in June, the Czech Republic asked the court to order Poland to pay a periodic penalty payment of €5 million a day for failure to comply with the obligation to immediately cease mining. In response, the Polish government announced that production would not be stopped and started negotiations with the Czech side. So far, they have not managed to bring an end to the dispute. The Polish government will not close the Turów mine. From the beginning, we were of the opinion that the suspension of the works of the mine in Turów would threaten the stability of the Polish power system. This would have negative consequences for energy security for millions of Poles and for the entire European Union. Its closure would also mean huge problems for everyday life. The Polish government is seeking an amicable settlement to the dispute with the Czech Republic and respects the interests of the local community. Today's resolution is in opposition to a friendly settlement. Sunday was the last day of the elections to the Russian State Duma. After counting over 98% of the votes, it appears that the ruling party, United Russia, won the vote with over 50%. However, the opposition isn't convinced and has published internet recordings of electoral fraud on the internet. The leader of the Russian opposition, Alexei Navalny, did not take part in the vote. Russia's ruling United Russia party, which supports President Vladimir Putin, won an emphatic parliamentary majority after its most vociferous critics were prevented from contesting an election that opponents said was marred by large-scale fraud. With 98% of the ballots counted on Monday, the Central Electoral Commission said United Russia had won nearly 50% of the vote, with its nearest rival, the Communist Party, at just under 20%. United Russia won 54% in 2016, the last time a vote was held. The turnout was 51.68%. It was better than during the previous campaign. In fact, we see a lot of differences between this campaign and the one 5 years ago, including the broader political diversity in the State Duma. We may already suppose that 5 parliamentary parties enter, not just 4 as it had been since part of the 1990s. Moreover, apart from 5 self-nominees, there will be 3 parties candidates who won in a single-seat districts. So together there will be 8 parties representatives in the State Duma. The scale of the victory means United Russia will have more than 2/3 of deputies in the 450 State Duma, lower house of parliament. This will enable it to continue to push through laws without having to rely on other parties. Critics allege large-scale vote rigging. They said the election was a sham and that newly introduced electronic voting system had been used to deprive opponents of United Russia of victory in Moscow. Drone footage shot this afternoon showed a flow of lava advancing in Spain's Canary Islands and engulfing houses as thousands have fled following the eruption of a volcano. The volcano erupted on Sunday, shooting lava hundreds of metres into the air, engulfing houses and forests and sending molten rock towards the Atlantic Ocean over a sparsely populated area of La Palma, the most northwestern island of the Canaries archipelago. The Canary Islands' first volcanic eruption for 50 years forced the evacuation of about 5,000 people, including around 500 tourists, and destroyed about 100 houses, officials said on Monday. Officials said they were hopeful that they would not need to evacuate any more people. La Palma had been on a high alert after thousands of tremors were reported over a week in Cumbre Vieja, which belongs to a chain of volcanoes that last had a major eruption in 1971 and is one of the Canaries' most active volcanic regions. No fatalities have been reported, but the volcano was still active on Monday. A Reuters reporter saw heavy smoke coming from the volcano and houses burning. Despite the destruction, Tourism Minister Reyes Maroto told Canal Sur Radio the eruption should be seen as an opportunity to entice visitors to the island. That's the news. Thank you for watching. Stay with us for the weather, Poland Daily Business and more programmes. But from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.